What took place not too long ago has certainly stunned the cryptocurrency community all around the world and has shaken the foundations of the financial system in the United States. With the passage of a brand new law known as the XRP Clarity Act, the United States Congress has taken an unprecedented move. This is the result of years of ambiguous regulations, several court disputes, and reticence on the part of institutions. As a result of these laws, not only is the definition of XRP altered, but the regulation of cryptocurrencies in the United States as a whole is also altered. At the same time, it makes it very obvious that the Securities and Exchange Commission does not have any authority over XRP and deems the token to be a non-security. This is the most significant information. Additionally, the law speaks about a price that is driving the cryptocurrency markets absolutely bonkers, $10,000 per XRP. Some people believe that this price is absolutely necessary for the American economy to be able to compete in the international financial system. Remember to give that some thought for a moment. For more than 10 years, XRP has been engaged in a struggle to gain recognition from regulatory bodies. Ever since the infamous SEC versus Ripple case and the never-ending speculations regarding its legal status, the asset has been surrounded by a fog of uncertainty that has hung over it like a dark cloud. With regard to the digital currency XRP, it is said that the Securities and Exchange Commission does not possess any authority about it. The alteration that took place was not a sudden occurrence. Over the course of several years, Congress and federal regulators have been at odds with one another on who should be in charge of digital assets. However, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, stated that it ought to have authority over a wide variety of crypto assets, including Bitcoin and possibly even XRP. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, stated that it had control over tokens that it considered to be stocks. However, things finally came to a head when the amount of pressure exerted by the private sector and international competitors became excessive. Switzerland, the United Arab Emirates, and Singapore have previously implemented more transparent crypto regulations, which resulted in a significant outflow of capital and talent from the United States. The Congress was aware that if they did nothing, they would be giving over control of a revolution in the financial sector. The prompt action, on the other hand, was only taken because of significantly increased political pressure, the opportunity to generate money, and a strategic requirement. Efforts being made all over the world to de-dollarize currencies now pose a greater risk to the economy of the United States. In addition to the United States dollar, central banks all around the world are exploring for other forms of currency. Additionally, the private sector has shown a rapid increase in its interest in tokenized finance, blockchain settlement layers, and digital assets as reserve mechanisms. The utilization of XRP for transactions that take place across international borders, the fact that it is already utilized in financial networks, and the potential role that it could play in real-time gross settlement at scale were all topics that were discussed by government officials, according to sources. In a nutshell, they did not consider XRP to be a speculative token. Rather, they considered it to be an essential component of the infrastructure that would assist the United States in remaining at the forefront of global finance. There was a lot of activity going on inside the Capitol. The members of the Digital Asset Clarity Caucus come from both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and they aspire for the government to take immediate action. The final wording of the XRP Clarity Act was apparently D. Although there were multiple revisions of the bill, the final language was supposedly written. Early leaks indicate that previous regulators and technologists who understood both the legal and technological sides of XRP's use case had something to say. Although we do not yet have the complete list of contributors, we do know that they expressed their opinions. While the bill was being signed by the president, he made the following statement. This is about protecting innovation, securing America's financial future, and making sure that the United States leads in the next era of global finance. On the other hand, the government does not only take away things, it also comes up with new things. An intriguing paragraph can be found in the preamble of the XRP Clarity Act. This paragraph discusses a research that was conducted by the National Organization for Economic Research, an independent entity that was established by Congress for the purpose of doing objective financial modeling is known as the National Economic Research Forum. The value of each XRP token may reach $10,000 if it were possible for it to function without any issues on a global basis. It would be the requirement for institutional liquidity, corridors for central banks, and the replacement of old systems that move slowly that would be the driving force behind this happening. To be more specific, the paper asserts that this form of valuation would be an essential method for maintaining the financial dominance of the United States in a world where the infrastructure of global settlements is undergoing rapid change. By the way, not only is it now feasible for XRP to reach $10,000, but it is also a goal that may be legally pursued. As a direct result of that mention, analysts, hedge funds, and crypto whales have all altered their stances about the cryptocurrency market. This is the reason on why the market reaction was so quick. Furthermore, institutional custodians reported that there were a significant number of new account openings and requests for over-the-counter trades. The traffic on the exchanges was excessively high. The wall in question is no longer present. On the other hand, what about the SEC? Moreover, Gary Gensler, the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, who spearheaded the investigation against Ripple and whose tenure has been defined by some of the most stringent enforcement actions in the SEC's complete history. On the other hand, Gensler was reportedly taken aback when the XRP Clarity Act was passed, according to individuals who work within the agency. Since the beginning of this week, reports have been circulating that Gensler had submitted his resignation paper. There were a number of large news websites that were getting ready to report the story, but they were unable to do so until the resignation was formally confirmed. Since the beginning of time, evaluation projection has never been utilized in the introduction to a regulation concerning a digital thing. Also, to tell you the truth, the cryptocurrency industry has never before had such unambiguous support from the highest level of government. It has an impact on a whole deal more than simply XRP. Because of this regulation, it will soon be possible to check the clarity of other tokens to ensure that they are of the same level. There is a possibility that there will be bills that will ultimately determine the type of blockchain platform that Ethereum, Solana, and other platforms are. In the United States of America, people are already rejoicing for long. Individuals that are part of the XRP community are organizing gatherings, activities, and locations in various parts of the country. Captured at this very moment, Twitter is going absolutely crazy with hashtags such as #XRPVictory, #ClarityAchieved, and #GenslerGone. In spite of this, there is a profound shift in the way that people perceive the WCW. The federal government has come to acknowledge it as a component of the financial system that is now in use. It is not just the payment rails that are impacted by this occurrence. Additionally, they have an impact on geopolitics, the competitiveness of nations, and the sovereignty of monetary systems. The subsequent actions are of utmost significance as this narrative progresses. The XRP platform will serve as the foundation for the development of products, exchange-traded funds, retirement funds, and payment vehicles by institutions. It is possible for central banks to begin testing routes that are constructed on the chain of XRP ledgers. In a market that is finally free of fear, doubt, and uncertainty, purchasers of all kinds, including individual investors and institutional buyers, will be able to engage in trading. Be aware of this. You are seeing the history of the financial sector if you are watching this. As a result, it became obvious for a digital offering which provided investors with the assurance they have always desired. When the event took place, you were present. Whether or if XRP reaches $10,000 in the near future is irrelevant. The trend is unmistakable. Following a discussion in Congress and a signature from the President, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has been placed on hold. What about Gary Gensler, for example? It is possible that he will be struck by the door while he is leaving. Don't forget to subscribe, never miss an update, and always keep your eyes open. Whatever comes next has the potential to alter all that we believed we knew about the way money would function in the future. Remember that I am not a professional financial advisor. I am just a regular person. The sole purpose of the information presented in these films is to provide entertainment. When it comes to matters of money, I always advise my audience to conduct their own research and consult with experts before making any judgments. We appreciate your attention. In the event that you enjoyed the video, kindly give it a thumbs up. Do not overlook the importance of clicking the box that says subscribe. In addition, please ensure that the notifications are turned on so that you are immediately informed whenever I post something new. In the following film, I can't wait to see you again.